Beckham takes it. Hedman, who has a fantastic physique for a goalkeeper, but once or twice seeing him in the Premiership, maybe doesn't assert always the authority that you would expect with that sort of build going for you.
He's still a young man relatively, isn't he, Martin, as far as goalkeepers go, 26 years of age. But he is one of the modern breed. 6 foot, 4, 5, giant of a man.
And in his defence, he's never been on the losing side in an international for Sweden. This is his 16th appearance.
Well, that was sloppy, that just little piece of play, giving that corner away. And how often I've seen down the years when people give away unnecessary set pieces like this. Well, they can pay for it. Got some good height in the side as well. Talk about England's ability to head the ball, but the Swedes have got some good players in the air.
They're trying to congest it around the near post area as well. It's going to be a corner. Martin Keown in the middle there between Alex Anderson and Patrick Anderson. David Beckham just having a word with the referee, suggesting that Sweden might be wasting a bit of time here.
Well, Schwartz has taken an eternity to get from one side to the other. They're obviously short of corner takers. That one was in with the left foot. They take it that this one's going to arc away from goal, which is why 5 players are poised on the edge of the box, ready to attack.
Henrik Larsson. Next off for Sherwood for Larsson to get it back again. And take it from Sherwood. It's been helped Schwartz then, rather than Cole. Forward by Patrick Anderson, and Ljungberg is caught England out maybe. In goes Mjalby.
What a block, corner. What a block, son. Didn't know an awful lot about it, but he was close enough to Mjalby. Lovely play. Ljungberg's caused a threat, you know, Martin, every time he's drifted from left to right. This time not tracked, and he was too good for Keown. Lovely ball back across goal. What an important block yet again. This time Phil Neville.
Well, what a major test this is of England's European ambitions. Mjalby, who knows how to score against England, he showed that in September. Schwartz with the corner. And, Patrick Anderson trying to do some retrieving here against the attentions of Sherwood. To play it to Cormack. There's some wrestling there. I think the referee's got that right.
Yeah, you could see Sol Campbell, you and I are looking straight at it. Sol wrapped his arms round Anderson, he wasn't letting him try to spin off him. You look at the left arm, just holding him back. Anderson's trying to move, Campbell's not having any of it. Sol saying he's backing in. The referee had the kind of view you and I had. It's always a dangerous ploy, edge of the box.
With the left foot of Stefan Schwartz, once of Arsenal, very much of Sweden.
It's been a good 5 minutes for the Swedes. Enjoyed some good pressure.
Henrik Larsson on the end of that wall.
He wants him back another yard, the referee. He's not happy, he wants him back. They're not moving.
Cole's got to go back.
He's going to book him.
Andy Cole, yeah, but for not retreating. You better be careful here. This could be a big problem for England. Here comes Schwartz, into the wall. Back to Patrick Anderson. Well, it certainly took a deflection.
Poor free kick.
England have also got Cole's booking to deal with. They've now got Martin Keown's fitness as a question mark. He did come back from Arsenal's post-season trip to the Far East with a slight hamstring strain. I don't know whether that's the cause of him going off, but He is going off to be replaced straight away by Rio Ferdinand of West Ham United. Martin Keown's been absolutely outstanding in the two internationals where Kevin Keegan's been in charge, here against Poland and in Hungary, but he plays no further part in this one with 10 minutes to go to half-time. Sweden do have the corner. Kenneth Anderson.
Well, what's the chance, Martin? And he knows it. Right in the middle of goal. Free header. Sol Campbell's mistimed it, got underneath the ball. Well, at this level, you just have got to hit the target. That's a very, very poor header. Well, you take chances into it in the first half, Martin, and England, I think, are fortunate to be level. Two very poor headers, Larsson and Anderson, really have let England off the hook.
It's Kenneth Anderson heading it on. Campbell clears. Shearer, Cole chasing. Goalkeeper coming, and Sweden pleased that he arrived on cue.
You only have to look back to the European Champions final, Mark, to see how, if you don't take your chances at this level, how you can pay.
I think you'll be saying that for a good few years to come about that particular Champions League final. Andy Cole of Manchester United. Kenneth Anderson, who hasn't been speaking about revenge against Kevin Keegan, but I wonder what his innermost thoughts are. Wanted to prove his worth at Newcastle. But the trial was inconclusive, and the then Newcastle manager, the now England head coach, said thanks but no thanks.
I'm just thinking what a big game for Rio Ferdinand to come into, Martin, inexperienced at this level. Everyone knows the talent the lad has, and what a future lies ahead for him can only be bright.
Just make one other observation. There's no place for Gareth Southgate amongst the England substitutes today. Rio Ferdinand has, I think, edged that maybe on the capacity to play in the middle of three at the back. If Kevin Keegan's not shy of playing that system, by the way. Fulham fans will support that view. It's also typical of Kevin not to overload the bench with defenders.
Yes. Yeah, I'm surprised he's got one then.
They've certainly had some defending to do in this first half. Sweden out to this point. It's David Beckham. Neville, who maybe more in his instincts to get forward than his older brother, who holds that right back slot so admirably. Gary Neville incidentally rested with really the wear and tear of a demanding season. Ljungberg. Scholes had to pull out of that, already booked. Kenneth Anderson here. Larsson wasn't where he expected him to be.
We talk about people having a picture and knowing what's there. And that Kenneth Anderson didn't.
Well, Batty did, but Shearer was offside.
Certainly looked off. Where someone on the far side, but as the ball's played, it's very close. You can see right hand of the screen is actually onside. The ball's played.
Those crossfield markings not so easy for the assistants to use now, are they, with this?
Headman's getting booked now, Martin.
Time wasting the point has been made. England are having a little pop at the referee. So a yellow card for Magnus Hedman for taking too long over this free kick. A bit slow to pick himself up. It's a fierce old battle that with Sol Campbell. Cole So Patrick Anderson who made the header. Mjällby. Patrick Anderson with the challenge. Barnes in the midfield, hurly-burly, looking for a safe enough back pass.
I think he gives you a chance, Schwartz, Mark. I think if he's in there on the ball, you put him under pressure. Not as nimble as he used to be, and he wants to play all the time, and it's a dangerous area just in front of your back four.
Oh yeah, Ferdinand likes to play from the back, but he totally screwed his kick then. Hesitation from Henrik Larsson, not from Sherwood, who pressed well, and Batty. Shearer, can he go on here? He's past Patrick Anderson. Andy Cole in support.
His first touch. First real good opportunity of a break for England. You just think that when Anderson slips here, they've got a chance 2-on-1 almost. When he plays it to Andy Cole, the first touch takes him wide. It's not his strongest side, he's left. Talk about it time and again. I think he would have dealt with this better on the right, but he still should be able to wrap his foot round, stand it up, and hold the play up a little bit.
Well, Cole trying the shot, but it was good pressure by Tim Sherwood on Henrik Larsson that created that England break. I think there would have been some finger wagging from the Swedish players at the Celtic forward. Once he was hounded down by Tim Sherwood, Batty seized the ball and Shearer was away from the subsequent pass.
Yeah, Larsson was looking, thought there was no one behind him, and Sherwood just didn't give it up. Just caught his knee or his ankle just then. Then they break quickly. I just wondered if Alan was thinking of just opening out and having a shot. Took it a little wide, Andy. Couldn't provide the cross.
It's quite a difficult time for some of these players, Andy, because, I mean, Andy Cole, we know, has been busy with Manchester United, as his club mates have been. Some of the England players have squeezed in a holiday. I can't speak of Tim Sherwood's plans, but I know David Batty went to Euro Disney, where he might have bumped into you, I think.
If he was there last week, he probably would have.
And Sol Campbell, I think, had a break. Graham Rousseau popped back to Jersey for a few days, and then you've got to pick it up, a major match. You think you need a rest, but sometimes it's just as well to keep the fitness ticking over. Sherwood, having gone off to observe the protocol of the game, is quickly back. Larsson, nimble there. Alexanderson seemed to get there first. Larsson was trying to chase down that clip ball forward by Nicholas Alexanderson. One thing about these two sets of players, they do know a great deal about each other's game. It's creating that type of contest all over the pitch.
Well, you've got, Martin, a two incredibly fit set of lads. Much is made about the Swedes' fitness. England are a very fit side, but so are the Swedes.
Ljungberg just threading it through to Kenneth Anderson. Ljungberg, Mjällby, and well behind him really on his weaker side. Long ball by Phil Neville. Beckham made it possible by covering the ground, getting forward. Shearer and Cole taking up their positions in the centre. Fed into the feet of Andy Cole. Flag's gone up. Referee hasn't seen it, but the flag has stayed up. And now the game has been stopped for offside.
I think the one thing that would disappoint the England manager is the fact that they've had good possession, Martin, and they've had good areas of the pitch. But as yet, Magnus Hedman really has had very, very little to deal with. Nothing on target, I don't think. Maybe one shot from Shearer that was deflected, the sting taken out of it. But that apart, it's been a pretty comfortable 45 minutes almost for the Coventry goalkeeper. As I said, England need to play very, very well to win this game, or get lucky. One of the two. That's the difficulty in playing this team. There are no mugs, Sweden. There again, Ljungberg drifting in, picking up the ball in good space.
Kenneth Anderson. Scholes. Beckham. And England break through. so close to half-time. This time in the game in Sweden, when Sweden had turned it around so dramatically after that excellent England opening. Patrick Anderson. He's already blown for an England free kick. Beckham, he's got
4
the
minutes,
license
man.
to
4
come into
minutes.
the centre.
Obviously England's protests about time wasting of referees taking them on board.
There was the stoppage from Mills, of course, early in the game. One wouldn't have thought it would be 4 minutes. Oh, and now David Beckham, who's been telling the media this week that he's still got a bit of a hot temper, that he can't guarantee that he won't lose the plot again. But he's
there's a little example of it.
living up to those comments, but it's only a free kick, nothing more.
I think it's a free kick, definitely. You wouldn't want Beckham losing that little streak. It's all part of him.
And what a year he's had since that indiscretion in Saint-Etienne. He did say that he was experiencing that the wind blows strongest at the top of the mountain. Well, he's not been blown off those peaks, has he? In fact, he's really scaled the heights even further over the last few months. A real candidate to be European Footballer of the Year. Larson. Ljungberg. Alexander with the cross.
Clever little header from Larson. He knew he couldn't do anything himself, but just tried to help it on from the Albi.
Shearer. Scholes making tracks into the centre where Cole is already waiting, and other England players will come now because it's a free kick. Almost halfway into this 4-minute period of stoppage time.
Well, I talked about giving free kicks away at stupid times. Bjorklund's guilty of that. Will he pay the highest price?
Well, Sweden have had the better chances in the first half, but can England now create an opening goal? Into Headman's territory, and England can't get anyone to get their head onto Beckham's free kick.
Such is his quality, Martin. He's had a first half that's really been a little bit below the standard that he set this season, particularly with his set pieces. A little bit, drifting him a little bit too close to Headman. That was another example there.
Just indicating to Shearer that he thought Shearer was going to run forward then. Shearer wasn't of that mind. Consequently, the distance between the captain and where the ball dropped made the whole thing look more clumsy than it actually was. Lasso. Here's Scholes. Take anything back to their own country from this game, they'll be absolutely thrilled. Cole coming across, here's Alan Shearer! Facing the goal, 18 yards out, too high.
Well, he hadn't got the play up, the captain. He was a little bit slow in getting up in contact, but it dropped beautifully for him at the edge of the box. You don't often see that lad miss the target when he's striking from 18, 20 yards. Especially when it's so inviting as that. Just sat up, I think, just as it reached him. That's the best chance that England have had first half.
Beckham. Shearer goes left this time. Lasso. Really has been a fascinating international football match. England trying to match the levels that Sweden have set in this group. Shearer trying to get it into the feet of Cole, and he dives in to try and stop Sweden bringing it out. That was successful. So's done well. Batting. They're trying to stop Beckham supplying across. Collected defending by Sweden, and it's done the trick. It's got them in at half-time at 0-0. Well, Kevin Keegan hoped his side would be off to a fast start here and would be able to assert his positive nature into a positive performance, but they are up against the team that head the group. Fortunately for England, they haven't headed the ball quite well enough in prominent areas, particularly Henrik Larsson, who put his chance wide, Kenny Anderson, who headed over the top from a good position as well. And at half-time at Wembley, it is England 0, Sweden 0. We'll be back after the break. Because Graham Lasso is feeling unwell. Michael Gray, who has been converted to a left-back at Sunderland, and of course has Wembley memories of that astonishing playoff game which was decided Sunderland against Charlton, when Gray's penalty was so costly in that shootout. So he's got a ghost or two to lay here, but he thinks he's a better player for having suffered through that. And Sunderland, of course, have fought their way this season back into the Premiership, where he'll be playing in a few weeks' time. But for Kevin Keegan, who's been glorying in the fact that he had a full squad of 22 to work with in the build-up to this game, has now lost two players in circumstances he wouldn't have anticipated.
I think that's right, and such is the importance of this game. Kevin would have certainly had planned, Martin, to, if they were struggling, if they couldn't get a breakthrough, that he would have been able to use two forward-thinking players, Sheringham, Fowler, maybe bringing on people like, maybe even have brought on Michael Gray ahead of Graham Lasso in a more orthodox 4-4-2 formation. But now he's been forced to two substitutions he didn't really want to make, and now he only has the one option. He'll be hoping he doesn't have to use it, and that England can play a bit better second half and test Magnus Hedman a little bit more than he did first half.
England start the second half at 0-0. Cole. Against Paul Scholes. Let's get a word on that Graham Lasso situation from George Gavitt. George.
Yes, Martin, Graham Lasso has been suffering from a virus for most of the week. It's caught up with him during the game, and Martin Keown has a hamstring, as we suspected. It means he'll be out of the match in Bulgaria in midweek.
Thank you, George. Disappointing news for England. The disappointment they to try and avoid is of not winning this game. Full house at Wembley, just under 76,000. Shearer tries to hoist it into that penalty area, but it's gone behind. He has had some criticism after the FA Cup final, Alan Shearer, but as Kevin Keegan said, you can knock him, but you can't knock him down. Just wonder whether this last option that Kevin Keegan has, he's got to play it very shrewdly, would be to involve the old pairing and get to Teddy Sheringham on alongside Alan Shearer. We shall see.
As I said, he'll be hoping he doesn't have to use that, Martin, that the 11 he's got out there now can do the business, if you like, for him. But I think that would be certainly if they're looking for a goal, that is a major option. Robbie Fowler hasn't played for a long time. Sheringham is flying high at 35,000 feet somewhere and yet to come back down to earth. So he would be, I would think, the most sensible option.
Scholes. Phil Neville has got a good stride to get onto that one. They've got four waiting for Neville's cross that he can supply. And it's Beckham who wings it in so effectively. That's probably his best cross of the game. And Hedman has lost it to Sherwood. Alex Anderson to the rescue.
Oh, what a ball this is. What a ball, and what defending. Roland Nielsen under pressure, facing his own goal, 6-yard box. That was a brilliant defensive header. Sensational cross from Beckham though.
Alex Anderson. Lovely movement by Ljungberg. Larsson spotted it, but a miscalculation there by Ferdinand. Ljungberg's got to wait for some help from his teammates. And Rio Ferdinand much more positive with the tackle. Beckham. That's Anderson more central at the moment. Ljungberg on the right and Schwartz out in David Beckham territory. And fouled by the man himself. Talked about a candidate for European Footballer of the Year. The last Englishman to have that honour was the England head coach 20 years ago. Poor mark with the free kick. Anderson winning it dangerously, and Larson coming across, or trying to come across Ferdinand. Goes back on track, and well, Schwartz does collect some yellow cards as well, and that is his second of the qualifying group.
That would be painful. No argument, so
he misses Sweden's next game, which is not until September, at home to Bulgaria. Good play by Michael Gray. Beckham. Shearer challenging, getting to it. Cole. And Sweden hoping that might run behind, but needed the extra touch from Alexandersson. There'll be a stoppage here.
Defended well, the Swedes, Martin, when the balls have come in. Two very good crosses now. The opening 5 minutes of this match. One from Wright from Beckham, that one from Michael Gray. Look how many bodies they get contesting every header. They really are making England work very, very hard, even just to fashion a chance.
A bit of air raid for Roland Nielsen. And I just wonder what the effect of that foul on Beckham had on him. Anyway, the game will restart with an England throw. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Roland Nielsen off the pitch momentarily. It's Sherwood, and he intervened, but then so did Björklund. Nielsen is back on. Gray looking early for Shearer, guides it down for Andy Cole. Positive work from England again from a wide position.
I don't think that's a bad ball move. You've got Shearer winning headers.
Oh, Paul Scholes!
He's off, man.
Paul Scholes becomes the first England player to be sent off in a home international. Another mistimed tackle, and that's a dreadful moment for the man who walked off with the match ball a couple of months ago and was the hero of the land, and now he has to make a long and dismal walk to the tunnel, leaving England with 10 men.
Well, you talked about it first half, Mark. You mentioned that he's got to be careful when you take that at his value there, right in front of the referee, who's only 5 yards away. Paul can have no argument, I'm afraid. That's a booking. The referee obviously didn't realise it was there. He took his time, he booked him, looked at his yellow card, saw Paul's number already on it, and then had absolutely no option but to produce a red.
So the team in red are depleted here.
I think it's a time now. Kevin Keegan's coming out, trying to get things organised. I think it's important that England don't get ragged now. I think discipline now is utmost.
Trying to get Beckham in and maybe get the three tighter. Beckham, Batty and
Sherwood. Mark, that's exactly what you've got to do. He's got to keep the two up front. You know, a lot of teams would take one off and maybe drop one back and go 4-4-1 and say, okay, we'll play from here. But I think Kevin knows he wants a goal, so he's keeping the two up top, and he'll just squeeze the three in midfield.
I suppose it had to happen sooner rather than later with the way the game is officiated these days. But a first home sending off ever in the history of England international, the 7th in all Alan Mullery, Alan Ball, Trevor Cherry, Ray Wilkins, David Beckham, of course. Paul Ince against Sweden in Sweden. None of those in England, but it's Paul Scholes, dismissed today, early in the second half.